Hello, my name's Colin Campbell. I'm with Polygon. You're looking at Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia. It's the latest in a long series of military strategy and tactical games. This time it's set in England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales during the time of the Viking invasions. So we've got 5 minutes or so to look at this game and to try to figure out what they're doing that's different. Obviously the Total War games have been with us since the year 2000, and we've been to ancient Rome and Shogunate Japan and Napoleonic Europe, and more recently, by way of a fantasy detour, we've been to the universe of Warhammer. Now this series is taking on the Vikings, and they have this enormous map which you can see here, which shows that Britain, or the British Isles including Ireland, were a patchwork of fiefdoms and kingdoms that were ruled by a bunch of different people, and they all had their own kind of self-identity, their own culture. And this was the time of the Viking invasions, which had taken over much of eastern England. It was also the time of Wessex, of Alfred the Great, and it was a time of quite a lot of cultural and military activity in countries like Ireland and Scotland. And you can see here the lovely artwork that they've put into this, which is derived from the sort of manuscripts of the time and the decorations of the time, which I really like. But the game itself is pretty familiar if you've played a Total War game, particularly if you played Attila back in 2015, which I played quite a lot of, and you can see that what you're doing is you're managing your empire via this overmap, where you're recruiting soldiers, you're training those soldiers, you're researching technology, you're looking after your leaders and the various factions to do with your families, and you get a sense of why people at that time, and the leaders of that time, took such care about the marriages that they indulged in, the gifts of lands, the appointments they gave to their most senior leaders, because the last thing you need as your empire grows is to lose control of those elites. There are some changes here from previous games. The most important, I think, is the kind of brevity of the period that it spans. So instead of it being 150 years, it's maybe 50 years. And that allows you to get to know your leaders and to have more of an intimate relationship with them. There are other changes as well. You don't need buildings in order to hire troops. They come from a central pool, and as long as you've got enough money and food to sustain your troops, then you can build them. They come with a 25% power only, and so it takes a few seasons for them to become, well, seasoned enough to go into battle. I think the main thing to take away from this is that it's a lot of tweaking and a lot of fiddling around at the edges to create an experience that does feel different from those that have gone before, but not too much different. I'm enjoying the idea of taking over a little kingdom in this massive map of the British Isles and trying to carve out my own little empire there. And I'm looking forward to playing and experiencing all the different types of cultures there are, whether that be Viking or English or Irish or whoever. So anyway, this game is out in April this year for Windows PC. You'll find out a lot more detail if you go to Polygon and read my preview. Thanks very much.
Expect great deeds.